One season comes to an end while another is just heating up. Welcome inside our Flame Central studios. So glad you're joining us this week. I'm Emily, and he's Matt.
Yeah, we'll take you all around Liberty Athletics in this week's episode, including a look back at a victory that rewrote the history books for the Lady Flame softball program. But first, we start on the gridiron?
Yeah, that's right. Spring break has come and gone, and now it's all about spring football. We may sound like a broken record at this point in the year, but this is a very different looking Flames football team. Liberty added 53 new players this offseason, 29 of them coming from the transfer portal. Head coach Jamie Chadwell said that should mean there's a lot of opportunity for leadership. And Chadwell is already seeing that from the quarterback, sharing that the QB room has gotten a lot more vocal. The plan as of right now is for Chadwell to call the offensive plays next season. Next task, figuring out who will be under center for the Flames next year. Liberty brought in 2 transfer QBs, Jalen Henderson and Deshaun Purdy, along with returners Ethan Houck and Ethan Vasco, who will all compete for the job as another quarterback battle begins on the mountain.
So all those guys are going to have opportunity to show what they're about, and give the opportunity this spring to see if they can put the ball in the end zone. But it will be a wide open competition, and maybe somebody just comes in and they do so well this spring that it's a no-brainer. And if they don't, it's hard when you're in a new system and you're only in a new system for 15 practices. It's hard to win a job if you're new like that without getting all of a summer and a fall camp to do it as much as possible. Because somebody that's inherited the position or somebody that's already in the position that's been here before, they're going to have an inherited advantage because they know the system. And so it's challenging for a newcomer to win it in the spring. But we want to give everybody the best opportunity to do that. But it will be wide open as long as it needs to be wide open until we can make the decision that helps us, get the best guy out there to win games.
All right, we jump to basketball now. On Saturday night, Liberty Hoops would see their season come to an end in the second round of the NIT as they went out west to face Nevada. Now, the Flames, they did start this game fast. In fact, they jumped out to an 8-2 lead, thanks in part to Josh Smith with an early offensive board and putback. But that lead would be short-lived. Nevada would surge in front, lead by as many as 7 in the first half. The Flames made just 1 3 in the entire first half. It would come from Brett Decker right before the break. It would trim the Wolfpack lead to just 4. And then in the second half, Liberty actually made a move. Caden Matheny, who's been battling injury, would bank in a 3-pointer. Then moments later, Colin Porter would knock one down as well. Those were their only 2 buckets of the night. They put Liberty in front 51-50. Zach Cleveland did his part as well. Typical Zach Cleveland night. 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He did it all. But in the end, Nevada's size and Liberty's 5 of 22 shooting from 3, just too much to overcome. The Flames fall 73-63, bringing an end to their season and an end to the LU careers of Cleveland, Porter, and Matheny, some all-time greats. After the game, Richie McKay was asked about this ending of an era.
Coach, if you could just speak on Zach Cleveland and just what he has meant to your program.
Yeah. I hate last games because that question invokes the reality that I won't get to coach him again. And he and Colin and Caden, in an era in which it's about me or about mine, they stayed for less money. They trusted us. They chose us. Those guys, their fingerprints will be on our program for a long, long time.
An emotional end to such a special chapter of Liberty basketball. All right, we turn to the Diamond, where the Flames are coming off a series win, taking 2 of 3 from Kennesaw State. Liberty has had its ups and downs early this year, but we all know it's a long season. And what better time to get in the win column than a midweek matchup with UNC Greensboro? This one was a back-and-forth battle. Let's pick it up in the 3rd inning. Tie game until Jordan Jaffe sends this one over the left field wall into the bullpen. Matt, that really hypes up the guys out there.
They love it.
Yep, that puts the Flames up 2-1. Later in the 6th, LU now trailing by a run. 2 runners on for Nick Barone, and he goes the opposite way. That'll get by Luke Jenkins and roll all the way to the fence. both runs will score to put Liberty up 4-3. But UNCG fought back in the 7th. Runners on the corners for Tanner Berry, and he delivers with a shot to right. The Spartans scored 4 runs in the 7th to retake the lead. The Flames played 2 in the 7th, but fall short of a comeback. Final score 7-6. Liberty will stay home and returns to CUSA play, hosting FIU for a 3-game set this weekend.
We turn to softball now. Liberty taking its 7-game win streak on the road to number 18, Virginia. Defense, the story early on. A double play in the first, got LU out of a bases-loaded jam. Then a great twisting catch from Savannah Nash in right field, and this game would be scoreless until the 4th. That's when Savannah Jessie destroyed one. Nearly hits the camera in center field. That would put Liberty on top 1-0. It would stay that way until the 6th. Alex Call's line drive can't be snagged by Paige Dorr. That would tie it up. Moments later, a Hannah Weismer sac fly would put UVA in front for good. Virginia wins at 2-1, putting an end to Liberty's 7-game win streak. Well, let's stay with softball. Think back with me, won't you? All the way back to May of last year. It was one of the biggest moments, not just in Liberty softball history, but in Liberty athletics history, as Dot Richardson and her squad punched their ticket to the program's first ever Super Regional. Recently, we caught up with many of the people involved in this moment to hear firsthand about a postseason run that none of us will ever forget.
I believed at the beginning of the year this was a very special team. They realized, don't worship the sport of softball. Let softball be your worship back to the Lord.
I just remember just feeling that like God was about to do something really awesome. And I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't know it was going to be like history.
After capturing the Conference USA tournament, that meant we had an automatic bid to postseason for the NCAA. They introduced the #1 ranked team for regionals, and it's Texas A&M. And it shows Marist, St. Francis. All of a sudden, the 2nd ranked team, Liberty University. I walked over in front of the team and I said, ladies, do you want to keep watching? And they said, no. I said, turn the show off. I love that moment because they were dialed in to compete. Heading over to Texas A&M, playing at their home field is so challenging. And we're playing amongst the 12th man. You could just cut with a knife what it was like and the atmosphere and what everyone's feeling of this competitive spirit. And we beat A&M. We put them in the losers bracket and they come back.
Work for the team, work for you, Lord. Give us this win if it be your will. Keep us safe on and off the field.
So here we are in that first game on Sunday. The game is ours.
1 win away from the biggest moment in program history. That would be their first ever Super Regional.
We had our shot, but we lost.
Liberty, the underdogs in a lot of ways, facing the 1 seed. Tying things up, and now A&M is untied it. Half the job is done for the Aggies, and we will turn around and play the winner-take-all Game 7.
Tensions were a little high, to say the least. Coach did come in for a quick second.
I looked around, said, ladies, we beat them once. We're going to beat them again. Then Savannah Jessie, she comes out and says,
I've got your back on defense. I'm going to give you my all on defense the whole entire time, and I need someone to pick me up with the bat. I was 0 for 10 on the whole entire weekend.
Dot Richardson is the Hall of Famer, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, whose team was in this position 1 year ago in the Athens Regional. Her team has another chance here in this winner-go-home Game 7.
So in the if game, winner take all, we're losing.
Roop drills this one. This is back, and it's out of here.
Now we're losing 1-3. KK Madry at second base. Savannah Jessie gets up to the plate. And I kept thinking, maybe now is the time to get your first hit.
Swing, drive, Jessie!
And ripped this 2-run home run to tie the game 3-3 against the #1 seed in the nation.
It was the most crazy feeling I've ever experienced. I was around the bases. I remember I gave like a big fist pump, and once I hit home, I was like, wait, that just happened type of feeling, but it was awesome.
To be very careful here. Roop drills this. There it goes! Gone! This this one puts the Flames back in front.
But man, there had to be a pitching change. And guess who we had in the waiting? Kaylin Yoder.
She hadn't pitched at all the whole regional.
I just kind of felt like I had nothing to lose. I felt like that was the most freedom I played with the whole year.
Don Richardson is calling on Kaylin Yoder, the sophomore from Delaware, hasn't pitched all weekend, is coming in here in the tensest of spots to face the #1 team in the nation.
It was like a movie almost, because I just blocked out everything and it just kind of felt like a little bit of crowd noise, and I was just locked in on Yoder, and I think she was the same for me.
It's a 1-run lead for the Flames, looking to do the unthinkable, knock out a 1 seed. A&M with a brilliant opportunity.
I went up 0-2, so that's prime pitcher's count. I'm like, okay, she doesn't stand a chance here. I'm like we're gonna do this.
Here it comes.
And then I threw 3 balls, and I'm like, of course, I gotta get every last drop of drama, I guess. But I just remember walking back, and then at some point I looked at our shortstop, Jemiah was in, and she just looked at me and she went like this. And that means call God in sign language. So I was like, okay, all right, that's what I'm doing. I was like, God, you got me. God, you got me. God, you got me.
Full count, 2 outs. Get the job done.
And Yoder throws one high and outside on a lefty and swings and completely misses it. From my view, it was crazy. She wasn't even close to hitting it.
Payoff is on the way. Swing and a miss. Ball game over.
And struck out the last batter in the last inning with 2 runners on base for us to make history.
Liberty breaks through. It knocks out the #1 overall seed and is moving on to its first ever Super Regional.
I threw that last pitch and it was just oh my gosh, we just did it.
The first thing you saw is her arms went up and then they went down in such this awness.
Oh, I flipped my mask off. I went and had my arms wide and went and picked up Yoder. I mean, it was just the most unreal moment I've ever been a part of.
And we all erupted and went just the excitement. And next thing you know, I had water being thrown on me. It was all crazy.
I just remember I did cry because I was like, wow, God is so good. And then I got to celebrate with my team and it was awesome.
This wouldn't have happened without the Lord. It's the biggest God moment that I've ever been a part of in sports.
Honestly, there's a lot of people that were loud about the Lord in that I think that I'll remember.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you and praise you for this day, God. I praise you for every single girl in this circle, for everyone that made this possible, God. I thank you for the talent that you blessed us with. And more importantly, God, we just praise you that we're able to reflect it back to you and give you all the honor and you all the glory because you're the one who deserves it, God. I just thank you for the relationship that we get to have with you, for the redemption in Jesus Christ. Father, let us make your name known because you are great. You are deserving of all the praise, God, and we thank you and we love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Let's go!
I was just so proud of the team. I was just so inspired. That's what you want. You want to watch a team that inspires you. And that team impacted so many lives.
Making history is something that I feel like every kid wants to dream of. I mean, we were on SportsCenter. We made it on MLB Network. We were blowing up all over social media. I think people finally realized what we were all about.
And guess what? We wrote history. We made history. And it was awesome being a part of it.
Such an incredible piece. Great job,
so cool.
Emily.
Thanks.
Such an incredible moment. I think back to that. That was one of those moments in Liberty Athletics where everyone was dialed into this game.
Oh, yeah.
Whether they'd watched the softball game all year
Everyone
long.
in the nation was dialed
Really, it
in.
was. There was a break in the sports calendar. There wasn't much happening that night nationally. And this game, everybody was watching because of the drama that unfolded. It was so cool to see Liberty on that stage with everyone watching.
And what did Liberty softball do on the biggest and brightest stage? Brought the glory back to the Lord.
That's
It was so cool to see them on fire for God during this whole entire run, and the whole nation got to see it.
They did. And this program, they've still got more in the tank. They're turning things around this year, so be on the lookout. And if you know anything about Coach Dot Richardson, you know she's going to put together the hardest non-conference schedule possible.
You think the athletes like that?
I don't
No,
know.
that was no different this year. And as a result, the Lady Flames dropped 8 of their first 9 games. But since then, they've turned the corner and are starting to heat up in conference play. This week, we had Coach Dot on the Flame Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia to discuss how the team has grown after that slow start. How have you seen this group come together? Despite, a little bit of a rough start because of that tough schedule, but how have you seen them grow as a team?
Well, they're growing together so well, and a lot has to start. You guys know that when you're failing, then you feel like a failure. So leadership says you're not a failure when you fail. If you learn leadership, you have to look, and you have to realize, what are we missing? Why is this not clicking?
Yeah.
What's going on? And you have internal things that you focus on, and you just put the light on it. But the only way to get through failure or feeling like you're not performing well is to perform. It's to succeed.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. So you change the meaning of success because they think it's winning a game. No, to me, success is being the best that you can be in the situation you've been given.
You know it's going to be a great podcast when Coach Dot is on. She is just so inspiring. You can check out the entire conversation wherever you listen to your favorite podcast or watch it on the Liberty Flames YouTube channel. It's a Flame Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia. Matt, Joe, and I drop a new episode each and every Monday. Hey, it just may change your life.
Yeah, I can tell you the podcast has certainly changed my life. And I speak for Rhett when I say it's changed his life as well. Rhett McGibbon's here. Time for Warm, Hot, and Fuego. You know what that means. Top player moment from the past week in Liberty Athletics. Rhett, what are we working with this week? I know we have a frequent flyer on the list this week. We'll get to him in just a moment.
If you like the diamond, you're going to like this week's WEF because it's everybody's playing either softball or baseball. We're going to start off with softball. The super sophomore coming in, Ella Fox, transfer from UNC. It's just, it kind of feels like you found your leadoff hitter for the foreseeable future. Just really good at contact. It's not going to be a power hitter in my mind. Might get a home run here and there. But when you go back to this last series against UTEP, game 1, 2 hits, gets an RBI. Game 2, a run, 2 hits, another RBI.
There you go.
Game 3, 2 runs, 2 hits. That's all you need from her.
Get on base.
Get on base.
Set the table.
3 for 3 when it comes to stolen bases this year. Love to see a little bit more of that. Doc, get her running, Doc. Other than that, just a great placement on this team and probably one of the brightest spots that have come out of the transfer portal, I would say, for Liberty this year.
Smart like a fox. That's what she is. Yeah, and by the way, we have a feature coming up on her in the near future as well, a Why Liberty, so be on the lookout for that.
And I forgot to mention, hitting 330 on the year. So it's not like she's hitting like 283 or mid-250s. No, she's hitting 330. When you have speed, you get on base.
That's right. Never slumps. All right, from warm, we go to hot.
All right, go to the last week. It was such a great performance. I had to bring it up again because technically I could have used it on last week's WEF, but I wanted to save it for a week.
Good.
And that was Riley DiCandido against UVA.
Yeah, you got to ration these performances. Spread them out.
Exactly. You just got to save them for the right time. This is today's the day. So DiCandido, that game you felt like, all right, it's going to be over in the 7th inning. UVA goes out on top big, and then he just comes out with the big bat. A couple of towering balls. Like the Flame train had to watch out for that one because he was just a couple of moonshots over the right field wall. You thought he might have a chance to be the hero late stages. They walked him. A smart call by them.
Yes, probably so.
But yes, it was Riley. Monstrous game for him.
Yeah, I mean, if you get him, you get Jackson Sorensen, some of those middle of the lineup bats. I know Liberty's been up and down on the baseball field this year, but you get those guys swinging, it changes everything for this team. 100%. So hopefully he can get going. All right, finally, we know who's been going all year long. We turn to Infuego.
I know. I'm not. It's going to sound weird. I'm not breaking up with Ben Blair, but this is the last time we're going to have to. For a while.
We're taking a break from Ben.
Because I feel like, it gets to be those athletes.
Are you boycotting Ben Blair?
No, I'm not boycotting, but it's just like the people, I want to bring some other people in. I can easily put Ben Blair on my list. Every single
You're all
week.
About inclusion.
Exactly.
Equity amongst athletes here.
You're right. Yes. Raising the minimum pay wage, all that kind of stuff. Ben Blair, 7 innings pitched this last week against Kennesaw State. 8 Ks, 1 walk. I think he hit 1 by a pitch, only 3 hits against. He just continues to dominate the competition. And it's fun to hear the little bit of chatter here and there that comes around the office and also through the ballpark when he pitches, just about the scouts and where they rank him. And you're starting to believe he's going to be a top 2-round pick.
Yes, he could be the highest pick we've seen in quite a while come out of Liberty.
And he should.
And he should be. Yeah. Every game you're like, all right, what can he do now? Not that you're waiting for a little bit of a hiccup, but it's can you keep this up?
Yeah, that's true.
And he has, all year long. It's been impressive.
And it's always been, too, when he goes up against the other team's big bat, you're kind of like, all right, is this guy going to be the guy that catches up to him and makes him pay? And nobody has so far.
Yet. I think we said 4 starts in Lynchburg left, potentially, for Ben Blair and his career.
Get out here.
Get out there, here, wherever, and watch him pitch. Rhett, great job as always. We appreciate it. Send it back over to Emily.
Our next feature comes from the lacrosse field. Madeleine Klunder is a redshirt senior for the Lady Flames. She's made a big impact on the field, but she's making an even bigger impact off of it. Recognizing the importance of mental health in today's age and across all sports, she decided to team up with a nonprofit organization called Morgan's Message to help athletes right here at Liberty.
Play fast, come out hard, behind your short back!
I grew up in a military family. I have 3 older brothers. I always was chasing them around and trying to play pickup lacrosse with them and just tag along any sports that they were participating in. 2nd grade, my dad was my coach from then until high school. And I had a serious talk with my dad at the time in high school, and I was like, okay, I gotta put in the work to get to this next stage. The moment I stepped on Liberty's campus, I knew it just felt right, and I knew this was God telling me this was my spot for the next 4 to 5 years. And so I think that really resonated with me, that lacrosse is more than just the game. The way they strive to include this motto of we before me mindset, and it says semper communis, we're always together. We win together, we lose together, and we win championships together. And that's truly what drew me to compete at Liberty. I've seen loved ones, seen teammates, seen friends struggle with mental health growing up and across my athletic career, and even myself struggling silently at the time too. I learned that it's okay to not be okay. So Morgan's Message is a nonprofit organization. It was founded by Kurt and Donna Rogers back in 2019 when their daughter, Morgan Rogers, unfortunately took her own life in July of 2019 after suffering a season-ending injury. It's meant to build awareness and promote mental health across all athletes and student bodies. I truly wanted to bring this program into our team culture, our campus, and so that's why I brought Morgan's Message into Liberty Lacrosse. Being an ambassador for Morgan's Message, it's being a support system, an advocate for your teammates, for your coaches, for your friends. We've organized Shiro events, empowerment events, Outer Darkness walks, awareness events, dedication games. So dedication games are a big component and way to bring Morgan's Message to life and to your campus. We'll have a speech before the game highlighting Morgan Rogers and what Morgan's Message is to the public. It's a way to promote that you are more than an athlete. You're more than the person on that field. You're more than the performance on that field. Since starting Morgan's Message, I've seen an immense difference in just the way we all love on each other, lean on each other, and there's not one moment in that locker room where we're not supporting one another. Morgan's Message has provided a community of advocates and ambassadors. And as ambassadors, I think the biggest resource you can be to your peers is being a listening ear and opening up that safe conversation for them to talk to. And I think that's the most important and most valuable thing being an ambassador has showed me, is being there for my teammates no matter what and giving them a reason for tomorrow.
All right, thanks to Scott Ferguson for producing that great piece.
Yeah, so happy we have Madeleine here on the mountain to just raise awareness for the importance of mental health and spreading Morgan's Message.
Yeah, you know, she's making a big difference within that program for sure.
Hey, Matt, do you check out the Flame Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia?
I'm on it.
Hello, it's a very big deal. You should check it out. We drop a new episode each and every Monday.
Yeah, for any stories that you might have missed, libertyflamescentral.com. Be sure to check it out.
For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you right back here next week.